there's lots of processes that the insurers are mandating, but one of the primary things that they're mandating is multi-factor authentication. And I believe because of the beating that the insurance companies have taken the last couple of years with ransomware, not only are we seeing a massive hike in rates associated to cyber insurance, I believe that there's going to have to be, just like being a good driver, you get better rates, right? As we mature in age and we have a proven driving record, we get reduced rates. Where, my young children who are now young adults are, they pay more for insurance, or mom and I pay more for their insurance than we pay for our insurance because they're higher risk. We should see that type of pricing percolate into the cyber insurance market, meaning if you can prove that you've got a mature cybersecurity posture and a way to document that, track that, and show the implementation of that, you are going to get better reduced rates and while reducing your risk, right? So cyber insurance is now, what used to be like 8 questions on a single page of paper is now 8 pages of questions to go get a cyber insurance policy issued. I know this because we have to carry it ourselves. The other aspect of cyber insurance, so you asked, what do they mandate? They might mandate endpoint detection and response, threat detection and response. They might mandate endpoint management tools. But one of the things we know that they mandate on different areas and critical items, such as your business email, anywhere data is stored, all of those things, is multi-factor authentication. You've got to have that in place. What I believe is coming is based on what CISA is pushing out and other organizations like NIST are pushing out, is that that's going to get updated and changed to require strong authentication, i.e. phishing resistant authentication, because the legacy stuff is just getting beat up too often. Now, that's either going to get required by a mandate, or it's going to get required by rate hikes. Meaning, if you're using a password plus an SMS, the insurance company is likely going to charge you way more for your insurance policy than if you can prove you're using phishing resistant MFA in the key critical areas, if not everywhere. So there's a time and place for insurance, right? And there's a time and place for it not. And if you do everything right, then your insurance should work. And you should be able to hold your insurance provider accountable if you've done everything that they've asked for and you can actually document that, right? Even in the real world, whether this is with fire insurance on your house or your auto, etc., just like my children driving a car, it doesn't mean I shouldn't do best practices to mitigate my own risk, right? So I live in a forested area where fire insurance is ridiculously expensive and dangerous, right? I'd be mistakenly wrong to just say, well, everything's insured, I'm covered, and not do any defensible space around my house. I also know that losing my house and losing the memories and the photos and all of that stuff is way more painful, even if it is insured and collectible, right? Like I could get reimbursed for it or rebuild my house after. The nightmare of being displaced from my home and losing memories and whatever else is way higher than just getting the home replaced, right? So I want to do best practices no matter what. But insurance is something that, because I have a loan on my house, I have to have. Now, most businesses, for most agreements or contracts or any of that, it's one of those check boxes that we have to have. So if you're going to have it, and we also just don't want the business disruption, right? If we get ransomware and we're shut down for 2 weeks, we likely won't survive. In fact, stats are greater than 60% of SMBs will not survive a ransomware attack. So let's do our best to protect ourselves up front, right? Protection, along with having a way to recover if the world comes to an end and we get hit bad, right? And so you got to do both. There's just, unfortunately, in today's world, you're knocking around not having insurance. But you're going to need to do both, and is what we would recommend.